Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 8, or actually, we'll be doing our high school advanced writing, focusing on grade 8 English lesson on pronouns. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English language arts. We're doing grade 8 advanced writing, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of pronouns. All right. So our chapter is pronouns. Our subject is English language arts. We're doing grade 8 advanced writing. And in the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of pronouns, it is to identify pronouns and the antecedent. And it is to use the pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. All right. So now this is a continuation of our previous lesson also on pronouns, which we are still going to be doing for some time. All right. So a pronoun, right? It is a word that takes the place of a noun or a noun phrase. And the noun or the noun phrase that the pronoun refers to, we call that the antecedent. All right. So once again, a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun, or it takes the place of a noun phrase, and the noun or the noun phrase that the pronoun refers to, we call that the antecedent. And if we look at an example, right? And then it says, Rachel is tired, even though she slept for 10 hours. So Rachel is tired, even though she slept for 10 hours. And if we look at that specific sentence, right, then our noun within that sentence is Rachel. Rachel is the noun. And remember, we said a pronoun takes the place of the noun, right? So Rachel is the noun, and then she is the pronoun that takes the place of Rachel. So basically, the antecedent is Rachel. Rachel is the noun, yes, or let's say the noun Rachel is the antecedent of the pronoun she. Because remember, we said she, or let's say the pronoun, takes the place of a noun. So the noun or the noun phrase is the antecedent of a pronoun or of the pronoun. All right. If we look at another example, it says apparently Tom and Sarah just landed. Who is picking them up? So apparently Tom and Sarah just landed. Who is picking them up? So if we look at that specific sentence, right, then our noun phrase is Tom and Sarah. And Tom and Sarah, which is the noun phrase, that is the antecedent of the pronoun them. Them is the pronoun of Tom and Sarah. Remember, pronouns are words like them, they, she, he, ours, yours, and so on, right? And it takes the place of a noun. takes the place of the person's name, for example. So the antecedent is the noun or the noun phrase, right? And they will show us it is the antecedent, for example, of a specific pronoun that is related to that noun or noun phrase. Or of that pronoun that takes place of that noun. All right. So basically, the noun phrase, right? Or the noun, like we said, it is the antecedent of the pronoun that takes the place of that noun or the noun phrase. If we look at another example, right, it says taking care of pets can be difficult, but it is quite worthwhile. So, taking care of pets can be difficult, but it is quite worthwhile. So, which means that the noun phrase within that sentence is taking care of pets. That is the antecedent of the pronoun it. It is the pronoun. All right. So now also when it comes to pronouns, right, we have singular pronouns and we have plural pronouns, right? Singular pronouns, it takes the place of singular nouns. And singular pronouns, it includes words like I, you, she, he, it, me, him, her, his, its, my, and your. Those are all singular pronouns. And remember, these singular pronouns, it takes the place of a singular noun. All right. And if we look at an example, it says Rachel is tired, even though she slept for 10 long hours. So Rachel is tired, even though she slept for 10 hours last night. All right. And if we look at another example, right? Firstly, Rachel is singular, a singular noun, and the pronoun she is a singular pronoun. All right. And then we have plural pronouns. And plural pronouns, it takes the place of plural nouns. It refers to more than one person, more than one thing. And when it comes to plural nouns or plural pronouns, right? Plural pronouns, which takes the place of plural nouns, or we can say nouns that is joined by conjunction and, right? These also includes pronouns such as we, you, they, us, them, our, your, and they. When we say that nouns is joined by conjunctions, then it's, for example, saying Nadine and Natalie, right? So this is the two nouns, Nadine, Natalie, but it is joined by a conjunction and. So now it makes us plural because it's me and another person. And if we look at examples of plural pronouns that takes the place of plural nouns or of nouns that is joined by conjunctions and, we can say my neighbors refers to more than one neighbors spent the weekend at their cabin in South Lake Tahoe. The next one says, where are the cans of soup I just bought? They aren't in the cupboard. So cans of soup, they aren't in the cupboard. Here we have an example of nouns that is joined by a conjunction. Easy and I. Easy and I spent all day on our science project. All right. So now we're going to A plus students.ca. And before we go, we see that a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or a noun phrase. The noun or the noun phrase that the pronoun refers to, we call that the antecedent. So, which means that the noun is the antecedent, right, of the pronoun. And then we have singular pronouns and we have plural pronouns. Singular pronouns takes the place of singular nouns. Plural pronouns takes the place of plural nouns. Or we can say nouns that is joined by a conjunction and is also plural because it is joining two nouns, and mm. All right, so now we're going to A plus students.ca, where we are going to identify pronouns and the antecedents. All right. So now it says Oprah Winfrey used the success of her career as a television talk show host to launch a magazine and a television network. If we look at the noun is Oprah Winfrey, and the so this is also the antecedent, right? But now the pronoun, it says select the pronoun whose antecedent is Oprah. So Oprah Winfrey is the noun as well as the antecedent. If we were to select the pronoun, it says Oprah used the success of her career. So which means that her is the pronoun of Oprah Winfrey. All right. So now let's go to our test. So which means that we need to identify either pronouns and the antecedents, or they'll ask us to get the antecedent or just the pronoun of the antecedent. We need to select the pronoun whose antecedent is seasons. Some people believe that seasons are caused by Earth's distance from the sun, but they aren't. Earth's tilt, not the distance, not its distance from the sun, determines the seasons. All right, and if we were to select the pronoun whose antecedent is seasons, do we say it's option one, seasons, option two, they, or option three, the seasons? All right. And if we were to choose the correct one, we will choose option two. In the 1700s, tobacco was so valuable that it was used as currency in many American colonies. We need to look at the pronoun whose antecedent is tobacco. Is it option one, option two, or option three? All right. And if we were to choose the correct pronoun, we would say it. All right, the next one says schooners were once the most important ships in North America, but by 1800s they were only really used for coastal trade and fishing. We need to select the pronoun whose antecedent is schooners. Is it option 1 schooners, option 2 they, or option 3 schooners? We need to choose the correct option. And if we were to choose the correct pronoun, we would say it's option 2. The next one says the Constitution was written in 1787 and its first 10 amendments were added in 1791 to describe individuals' rights in details. We need to select the pronoun whose antecedent is the Constitution. Is it option 1, the Constitution, option 2, it's, or option 3, the Constitution? And if we were to choose the correct option, then yes, option 2, which is its, refers to the Constitution. All right. Now we're going to the next lesson, which is to use the pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. We need to use the pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. So we already went over the singular pronouns as well as plural pronouns, right? And now it says when Hillary Rodham Clinton, was elected to the United States Senate in 2000, we need to choose the pronoun here that refers to Hillary. Became the only first lady to have held national office. And if we were to choose the pronoun, we would say she. became the first lady to have held national office? So she is the pronoun that refers to Hillary Clinton. All right. So now let's go to, okay, one more, and then we go to artist. Mother Teresa first worked as a high school teacher before devoting, we need to choose a pronoun, life to working with India's poor. So which means that we will say Mother Teresa first worked as a high school teacher before devoting, it's not she, before devoting, before devoting her life to working with India's poor, which means that her refers to Mother Teresa. All right, so now we're going to our test where we're going to use the pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. It says, complete the sentence with the pronoun that agrees with the antecedent in bold. The element sulfur is a yellow solid at room temperature. When burned, however, do we say it melts into red liquid, or do we say the element sulfurs melts into red liquid? Option one or option two? Which one is correct? We need to choose the correct pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. Doesn't give us in bold, but the element sulfur. And if we were to choose the correct option, it is our pronoun that refers to the element sulfur. The next one says, we need to complete the sentence with the pronoun that agrees with the antecedent in bold. There are thousands of snail species. Some of them, option one, are used throughout the world as a source of food. Or do we say some of snail species are used throughout the world as a source of food? Which one is correct? We need to choose the pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. The pronoun. All right. If we were to choose the correct pronoun that agrees with the antecedent in bold, and then we can say there are thousands of snail species. Some of them are used throughout the world as source of foods. So them is correct. All right. When my sister and I went camping with our stepdad, he snored so loudly that we couldn't sleep. Or is it option two that says, when my sister and I went camping with my sister and I's stepdad, he snored so loudly that we couldn't sleep? Which one is correct? And if we were to choose the correct pronoun that agrees with the antecedent in bold, then we will say, when my sister and I went camping with our stepdad, he snored so loudly that we couldn't sleep. So our is the correct pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. So well done. The next one says, when Anna and I stayed home on Friday night. Do we say Anna and I did our laundry and watched a movie? Or when Anna and I stayed home on Friday night, we did our laundry and watched a movie? Which one is correct? And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say, when Anna and I stayed home on Friday night. We, which refers to Anna and I, did our laundry and watched a movie. All right, let's do the last one. The last one says, when Hillary Clinton was elected to the United States Senate in 2000, do we say Hillary Clinton became the only first lady to have held national office? Or do we say when Hillary Clinton was elected to the United States Senate in 2000, she became the only first lady to have held national office? We need to choose either between option one or option two. And if we were to choose the correct option, we will say, when Hillary Clinton was elected to the United States Senate in 2000, she became the only first lady to have held national office. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on pronouns. We see that the pronoun takes the place of a noun, and that noun or the noun phrase, right, that refers to the pronoun or the pronoun that refers to that noun, it is the antecedent. The noun is the antecedent of its pronoun, which can be either he, she, they, them, and so on. Right? And our pronoun needs to agree with our noun. We also have singular nouns and we have plural nouns. Plural nouns can also be plural nouns can also be two nouns that is joined by a conjunction, right? And like we say, our nouns or our noun phrases needs to agree with our pronoun. And the pronoun takes the place of a noun or a noun phrase. All right, so this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining the class. I really hope that you're going to have a good evening further. Till next time, goodbye.